Okay, so I wasn't even going to bother making a video about this because, frankly, this is beneath the Daniel Boland show. We don't delve into fantasies, mountainous molehills such as this on the Daniel Boland show. A photoshopped image of Kate Middleton and the kids was released on Mother's Day. And, well, all hell broke loose, okay? Those of you who know me, those of you who've been watching this channel will know that I very much react to stuff that people do, okay? I don't speculate that much. I don't go into conspiracy theories, okay, you lunatics. I am very much somebody who enjoys cringe. I enjoy watching people make fools of themselves in the public eye. So Harry and Meghan are absolutely a source of inspiration for this channel. I love watching them do their little events and stuff. And frankly, this whole thing is interrupting my coverage that I still haven't finished of the South by Southwest appearance by Meghan Markle last week. I've still got to get to her retelling of the dish soap story, which, you know, I'm sure you're all dying to hear. But I will say this. There is a legitimate concern, legitimate criticism that could be levelled at the royal family over the last few months. And it is that the lack of communication or confusing communication is contributing to the speculation and the nastiness that's been directed at them, you know? And the reason I'm not making a video about that is because what do I say? Honestly, what do I say? That King Charles is obliged to come out and tell us what type of cancer he has and what his prognosis is? What do I say about Kate? I know even less. I don't even know what she's had. Some abdominal surgery, so they say. But what am I going to do? Just sit here and speculate like a little gossiping wench? That's not me, okay? We've moved on. I'm an investigative journalist now. It does, however, pique my interest when a story gets so big, so inevitable, that all of the hacks come crawling out of the woodwork. No, I don't mean myself, and I'm not that self-aware. I mean talentless spaz John Oliver. So we're going to take a quick look at that hack, giving his writers 2 cents on the whole Kate Middleton thing. And then we're going to take a look at this guy. Oh, if you don't know, Misan Harriman, Meghan's Japanese, I believe, photographer. Because he's been accused of photoshopping and everyone's, oh, but you do more. You did it first with the photoshopping thing. The whole scandal's just snowballing. And we're going to get his hot take on his career, on how dangerous it is that people dare to criticize him. And it's a lovely... all that and more coming up on the Daniel Boland show.
Who's Daniel Boland? Oh, Daniel Boland, this is a heavy hitter. Do you guys know who this is?
Okay, so first of all, let's get into the John Oliver comments that were made about Kate Middleton. But I just want to preface this briefly so that you understand how I always did feel about John Oliver and his ilk. There's something that has really bothered me for a long time about these late night hosts. And I know it's a hack thing to say. Everyone's talking about, oh, late night is such a lot of crap. It's not all of them. It really isn't. But it is something that extends to TV presenters and entertainers in general. And I think you could honestly divide public perception. You could divide people into those who are with me, who see this, and those who don't, right? If you don't look into the eyes of Stephen Colbert, of Jimmy Kimmel, of John Oliver, who I've just mentioned, and James Corden, with his fat, dead, soulless eyes, if you don't see a husk of a human being, we would not be able to hold a conversation, you and me.
I have to ask you.
Sure.
What the is going on with Kate Middleton?
Oh.
This Photoshop thing is...
Yes. I was out. I thought, let's all just ignore this. We've moved on until the Photoshop thing. And it feels like you're almost handling it badly in an impressive way at this point.
Because isn't their motto, never complain, never explain?
That's right.
And they had her explaining on Twitter?
Yes, there is a non-zero chance she died 18 months ago. They might be Weekend at Bernie's in this situation.
Right.
Non-zero. I'm not saying it happened.
Right, but non-zero.
I'm saying it's non-zero. Until proved otherwise, until you see her with a copy of the day's newspaper.
Call a physician. My bowel has perforated my abdominal wall from laughing. What can even be said about that shit? First of all, here is my impeccable John Oliver impression. Set your laugh tracks to that, dickhead. Cue laughter, audience. Now, don't get me wrong, it's no skin off my nose if John Oliver wants to make a joke about Kate Middleton dying, even though, you know, she could be gravely ill. He doesn't know. We don't know. All is fair in comedy. Honestly, I mean that. It's just funny how these comedians turn it on and off. There are their sacred cows. There are their moments of it's all got to be compassion, right? It's all got to be stay at home, save lives, take the vaccine, you racist, right? And then suddenly you just sort of make a joke about an individual being dead when they're possibly gravely ill. That's all I've got to say about that. What are you, John Oliver? Are you a fearless comedian who doesn't care what anyone thinks about him, right? Or are you that scared little boy who spent years on his own, conspiring in his bedroom? How can I make the world think that I'm worth listening to? Well, we've listened to you now, and we think you're shit. I'm just kidding. It's all just a bit of fun, John. It's just in the name of comedy. I don't really think you're a talentless, soulless hack. I don't really think that your accent is born out of a lack of personality, a borderline personality. You know, because those people who don't actually have anything inside them, they just sit around feeling hollow all day. Nothing quite satisfies them. Everything disappoints them. It's just a joke. I don't think any of that, really. Anyway, just before we get into the video with Misan Harriman, Meghan's Japanese photographer, just before we get into the video about him, we are going to take a look at one more little example of this hackery, this comedy. We're going to take a look at Jimmy Kimmel trying to roast Robert Downey Jr. at the Oscars the other night. It was bloody painful.
And congratulations to Silly Ann's co-star, Robert Downey Jr., who is, this is the highest point of Robert Downey Jr.'s long and illustrious career. Well, one of the highest points. But Robert has been Was that too on the nose, or was that a drug motion you made?
Well, I just got it, yeah. The highest point of his career. And the drugs. Because he nearly died from drugs.
Well, look at him. I mean, look at this guy. He's so handsome, so talented.
Well, Jimmy, you're not looking too bad yourself.
He's won every award there is to win. Is that an acceptance speech in your pocket, or do you just have a very rectangular penis?
Anyway, we're going to get into the best part of the video now, the Misan Harriman video, which is absolutely amazing. But hopefully you get my point about these late night people. We shouldn't be taking anything they say about Kate Middleton or about anyone seriously. They're not real people. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. People like Jimmy Kimmel and John Oliver, they have their whole life is their public persona. They have morphed into this character. They believe what they're saying. I don't think they will ever have a point of reflection where they go, oh my God, I've made all these millions of dollars, but I've never truly connected with anyone because it wasn't actually me. It was Jimmy Kimmel, the late night host. It was John Oliver, the twat. Anything they do or say is just an approved message from their producers, and their writers write the jokes for them, so they can't even express themselves through that. They are total talking heads. They're nothing. So there's no need to get wound up about what anything they do, say, think. They're terrible. Anyway, point is, let's get into the Misan Harriman. Whoa! I already love this guy.
Hey, I've just got back to reality from the Oscars, and unfortunately there's been an article on the Daily Mail saying that I have admitted to doctoring the pregnancy announcement portrait I took of Harry and Meghan. Apparently I was switching out trees and meadows, and I admitted to this in an episode of a podcast called Private Passions.
Hands up if you would like to hear Misan Harriman on the podcast named Private Passions. This guy's amazing. He's like the devil off Cow and Chicken.
You get to be the cameraman.
This is crazy. I was interviewed, I think in 2022, by Michael Barkley. I'm going to play you the segment on Private Passions.
I want to see some passion.
And we were talking about the technology I used to shoot people during lockdown.
Technology he used to shoot people during lockdown. You heard it here first, people. He hunted COVID deniers for sport. I did it out of compassion, you see. It was for the greater good.
Many photographers were doing virtual shoots in those days, and this is how we came onto the subject. Michael asked me a few leading questions in this interview. What I mean by leading questions, it's what some journalists do, where they make a statement as fact and they hope you respond or add something to it. I get that a lot in regards to Harry and Meghan, and I tend to swerve, ignore, try and get back on track, and say what I'm there to say rather than any sort of intrigue and gossip. And that's exactly what happened. I'm going to play you this segment. Photography.
The first thing I do when I finish this video is I'm going to search for the episode of Private Passions podcast with Misan Harriman. Just that first half a second of the clip he played, and I'm in love.
Photography.
Photography. Quite.
Yeah, but virtual shooting. My most well-known virtual shoot is the portrait I took of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
Great.
Announcing their pregnancy. It's a very joyous image. The technology.
I'm sort of in two minds about making fun of Misan, because he's a photographer. He's probably a pedantic twat. But, I mean, there's also the possibility that he just loves cameras and he's a massive autist. So, I don't know.
Technology allows you to take over a phone or an iPad and they can hear my voice and I can still press a shutter and compose.
Oh, look at him. He's mewing. He's pulling his cheeks in. Yes, you look very handsome, Misan. Chiseled features. Yes.
With ease. It's extraordinary what you can do with technology.
They weren't actually under a willow tree, but they were lying outside in a meadow, weren't they, Harry and Meghan, when you took the photograph of them?
Yeah, they were lost in their love, at home, in their garden, comfortable.
What the fuck is that face? I love him. But no, if you're listening to the audio and not just looking at his crazy faces, yeah, it's not a false dichotomy. He's definitely a pedantic twat or an autist. You know, saying stuff like they were lost in their love and comfortable. That's crazy.
Celebrating new joy, new life, the fortitude of hoping for light in life after such loss.
Yes, it really does convey the fortitude of hoping for light in life after such loss. That artsy black and white photo of a pregnant couple. Ugh. You know, ironically, it's images like that that make me wonder. They make me hope for light in life. I'm start hoping, I'm praying that I'm not just surrounded by a black abyss of egocentric insanity when I see stuff like that.
Celebrating new joy, new life, the fortitude of hoping for light in life after such a loss that they went through with a miscarriage. So it really was a particularly joyous image to celebrate life itself.
Well, all right, it's a mid in terms of photos that celebrate life itself. Have you seen these two dragonflies mating that form a heart? Oh my God, if that isn't celebrating life itself, I don't know what is. Quite a life the dragonfly has, eh? Yeah, you're alive for a day or so, and you get skull fucked.
Well, so how that exchange could amount to me admitting to doctoring an image is insidious and really dangerous journalism.
Ooh, private passions. Oh, some really dangerous journalism there. Absolutely right, Misan. Them talking about you possibly photoshopping a photo. It's akin to Tucker Carlson interviewing Putin in Moscow. Really dangerous.
Any mention of meadows and willow trees came out of the person doing the interview, not my mouth. I did my best to ignore it and focus on what I wanted to talk about. So to see an article saying as fact that I did what I did not do is extraordinary to me. And then to try and merge it with this current news cycle of what's happening, it's tragic to see.
It is, Misan. It's tragic. Of all the shit that's going on in the world right now, this is the most egregious tragedy.
It was a virtual shoot that I shot on an iPad, an 8-megapixel iPad. And the only thing that was changed is the black and white color grade.
I charged them $18,000 and lost it all in a weekend in Bangkok.
That's it. And the Daily Mail and the journalist that wrote this has to be better than this. It's dangerous and unacceptable behavior.
What a way to end the video, eh? Another sexy mew from Misan. I found another person I love for the Daniel Boland show. Anyway, summing up my thoughts here, what do I think about this whole Kate thing? I guess what I said at the start of the video. I can't comment because I don't know. And I think this is a bit of a mess, frankly. We don't know what's going on. And at the same time, I understand why people wouldn't want to say something if they've got some grave illness. So it's part of the price you pay for being a member of the royal family, something I would definitely never want. Those sour grapes, eh? No, seriously wouldn't. Sounds like an absolutely horrible existence. So, well, hopefully everything works out, but we don't know what's going on, do we, frankly? I'm sorry, I can't really give it. I'm not going to sit here and speculate like everyone else. I'm not Dan Wootton, all right? I'm not going to pretend I've got contacts or thorough research. What can I say? Let me know what you think in the comments. Give the video a like if you've at least enjoyed it, all right? Share it everywhere. Tell everyone about the Daniel Boland show, and if you want to help out with the channel, click on the Patreon link in the description. We've got 5 brilliant videos up there. They're really good. And there's a 6th one out on the way very shortly. I'll see you in the next video here on YouTube. If not, goodbye.
The unemployment office is around the corner.